and welcome to Deals with Heels, where female entrepreneurs thrive. I'm Debra, your host. Welcome to the show. I'm so excited for today's guest. You guys know that I am a budding artist and a big art fan, and our guest is a very accomplished artist. And so let's just jump right in. She is an artist, an entrepreneur, and an author of the book, The Joyful Living Guide. Please welcome Aisha Makara to Deals with Heels. Welcome.
Woo! Thank you for having me. I'm very excited. I'm here in the sunny Portugal, today, living here, enjoying my life. Having
Well,
great time.
I wish it was sunny and warm. Here we're in the middle of I don't know what the buzzword they're calling it now, the Siberian surge, I think. It's all air from the Arctic and coming down, and it's got us all in the deep freeze. So I'm recording in Oklahoma, and it is cold here, below freezing. So I'm jealous.
Come on.
Well, I know about a little bit about your kind of a history and story, but if you would please tell our guests kind of your story and how you got to where you are on your journey.
Well, I don't know even where to start. It was like I probably started from my childhood when my mother abandoned me, and I started to kind of like look for her and going to explore different areas of the neighborhood. And I was always like, adults was getting me back to the orphan house. And one day I just realizing like it doesn't matter how far I will go, they won't get me back because I was like to explore. First, I was exploring a lot alone, and after the other kids were started to kind of follow me, and I remember that I was like this. Even I was very child myself, and I still was very this adult inside of me, and I would like tell it to the kids, "You're going to cry. You're not going with me next time. If you're going to ask for water, food, you will not go next time with me because you get to take it yourself. I'm not going to carry for you, or something like that." I don't know. I was like this very, it doesn't matter. The kids some of them was older than me. So
Very independent. I love
like my
that.
age, maybe. And I just don't remember how old I was. I was just very like this, very like, I know, like this leader, very cold somehow. At the same time, I didn't want to take any shit from any other kid. And
Amen to that.
and I'm still like the same way. I believe. I'd rather be alone than with some bullshit. I would say like this. Because I feel like even in my life when I'm doing something, I'm creating something as an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is very like we take a lot of risks in our life. And I remember one of my first risks was when I decided to move from my small village because of the place where I was living that time. Because I was not in a good company, I ended up in I want to belong as a teenager. You want to belong to the whatever kind of group of people, and I ended up not good company. And what happened is like some of my friends started to die of overdose, of like accident or whatever. And I was sitting there in one of the funerals, and I feel like, would I survive until I'm 18? Because I didn't even feel
Right.
18 yet.
Would I?
And I was
That's a
feeling
big
like,
thing. Making sure that you are strong, that you feel strong. That was a big part of me when I
yeah, I mean,
were on
you
my
don't have
journey
any like
was
that. You don't have example, you don't have anyone like adults to look up to. And it's like a normal. I think like as a kid, it's normal that you kind of like trying to understand you in your own way, what's right. And so I moved to the bigger city, and I started to, I mean, of course, it was a process, finish the school and moving to the city first as a student. And I remember we had with my student colleagues, um, we had this conversation about what it is to buy the house, something like that. And I'm like buying the house, and I was living in a city. It was like not such a big city. It was in Russia, and was 1 million people, about 1 million people or 700,000. And I was like, okay, but I was like a hustler, I was like know how to make money. I was like doing a little bit of real estate, a little bit of renting their like properties. Like every time I was doing this like a side hustle thing, and it was easy for me to like go into school and do this things. Even I was like very young, I was always like playful in my mind, and always taking risks. I was like an entrepreneur from my childhood, I think, selling this like bubble gums and doing all of that. Like from the school, from 7 years old, I was like every time, like just hustle, 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 like just for fun, I believe. And because like when you're living in office, you don't need the like money, you have everything there, and it's nobody like cares about you. And I remembering that we had this conversation, and I was like, okay, to pay your like mortgage 30 years of your life of the like a house you're going to buy or something like that. So I decided to buy the house outside of the city, like 30 minutes away. And so I bought it for cash. I just like got a little bit of I make my own money, and I got a little bit of loan from the bank, and I bought a house, 3-floor house. And I was like about
That's a lot of
17,
bubble gum to sell.
18. Yes, I was in my first year of the university, or like second year, because I was the youngest one. And everyone was like, "What? This house? Oh, and it just was one floor is functioning, and the other two was kind of you get to repair a lot, work on them and something like that. It was not expensive at all, but it was like with a garden, with a lot of like fruit trees, and kind of nice place. And it was just 30 minutes to drive, like about 33 minutes. And I didn't have even like a driving license yet. I was like, I will get my driving license. I will get a car. I will drive. I will build it a little bit, while I'm studying, while I'm like, dude, I have 30 years to do that. I was thinking like, you know, I will fix it. It's not a big deal. And my friends was coming over and said like, oh, it's not cool. Oh, it's like, and I said like, do you own the house yourself? And said, no. So what are you talking about? Like, I will work on it. I will make these things happen. It's like something like, and in the same time, I was working to do the nonprofit because I started to go to the orphan house, like outside of the city as well, because I was orphan. And I was like, I want to be like when I become adult. So I want to like, as a kid, I want that someone's coming over and just like have a tea with us, with a cake. So when I got this opportunity in being adult, so I started to do this things to the, just found this orphan house, and I started to do that myself first. And after, of course, my like school colleagues went with me. And after it's like after 3 months or something, it's like turned out like a nonprofit. And because me just doing me somehow, just doing things that I love. And I was passionate about, and it's just turned, to the something very simple and very fast, something very big in 1 year. It was already like we're repairing the orphan house. We're already giving the kids the different the education to the like more older kids. We're giving like a master classes of the like nails of like different things to kind of like integrate them to the community, because not somebody like um it's not so many programs like that. So it was developed step by step. Me talking to all the salons, going to all this like business people, talking to them, asking for support. Like I went to many doors, and anyways, so it was a lot of work. And I did it as an altruist. I didn't do it because of money. I was just doing it because I was that one day that
Right. You knew there was a need, and you knew what they needed because you
yes,
knew what you needed. So it
yes,
was like the perfect way to heal that part of you. I
yes.
love it.
That's leadership skills. You're kind of like a leader, this natural, like a leader of understanding what's going on. And it was so easy, it was so easy, and people giving you this money, and you just like making the things work and so on. And after, because I was so active, I've been invited to move to Moscow. So I moved to Moscow, and after a year after that, I moved to Norway. So like, of course, I still have this my house somewhere in Russia that I haven't repaired to the fullest. I started to repair it, and it didn't work. I didn't repair it because I was like, oh, I'm going to move to Moscow for like 2 years, to finish, or 3 years, whatever, to finish university. I will come back, we'll work on it, it's not a big deal. And, I moved to Norway, and now like already living for so many years of my life outside of, Russia. And, I already traveled around the world. I did so many amazing things in my life. So I'm just feeling like the starting points of my life was just because of me, who I am, the way I am, and the way I want just to change something because that's what I wanted as a kid myself, that when I see someone doing it. So when I become an adult, I started to do it myself. And that's, I was being that human being.
I think you were an adult when you were a kid.
Exactly. I was an adult. I was like every time teaching the adults. It
You
was like,
were.
and
I mean, if there was ever a woman born with her shit together, I think maybe it was you because you just knew what to do. You just, even if you just did it, you just did it.
yes, I just didn't talk. I just go and do because that's what I was feeling what's right to do in that point of my life. And one of my friends was like, oh my gosh, I remember this mortgage things. I was just laughing. I was like, okay, 30 years? What the 30 years? For what? If we can just making right now and just buy not in the city, but somewhere just 30 minutes away, build at something there for almost nothing and still go to the city if you want to because it's not
It's
about
close.
because like life is like as entrepreneur I feel like you don't think as many other people think. For example, when I started to travel, I was hitchhiking. I was in a hitchhiking club. I was traveling in the summertime, and because I was studying and traveling, and around Russia and after Central Asia. And what I did, I was just like, okay, I need to come back. I need so much money. If I'm traveling, I need so much money. So I started to think how I can manage and make this money that I need to have that amount that when I come back, I need to recover like a month or two to get back to the
Mm-hmm.
track again. And for me, it was just kind of like a natural process of being me because I know I just have me and it's not so much, to take care of because I'm healthy, I'm happy. I can, I'm doing the things that I'm passionate about and it's easy to make money. It's not about like crying and complaining. It's about looking for the solution and looking for the need where you can feed that need and why you want to do that because you like passionate about or you really want to do that as a service.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, like when I moved to Norway and I was continuing my studying, I was again doing pizza delivery. I create my own pizza. I was doing sushi delivery. I was doing the sushi. I was doing like for the students, just doing a student residency around. And I was doing on my bicycle around, like making this money. For me, it was like because I'm so young, I had so much energy and, so much like just always being busy, like just doing things. And
And you
that's,
could have had so much baggage and you could have had such that victim feeling like because of where you started, but because you were alone, I think you had to learn how to regulate your own emotions because there was no one else to help you do it. You had to, I'm not going to feel that way. And I love that you've been able to maintain that and really keep that going. That is so inspiring to be able to have started your journey kind of in that mode and not feel damaged and be able to just chase it and not be afraid. I love that so
yeah, that's
much.
sure. I was very brave, super brave. And I
You
had
were
my
very
move. Yeah, I had my
well, yeah, of
move.
course you did. You were young. It was scary, but you just overcame it so much. It must have been terrifying in some parts of it, moving to new places but what an inspiration.
Moscow was
So
so
when did
big.
you get into your kind of art career?
Yeah. Moscow was so big and so scary, you cannot imagine. For me, it was like moving from 700,000 city to moving to like 30 millions, I don't know, 15 millions city. It was like, whoa.
And being a kid.
I feel so small. I feeling like scared, and I feel like, oh my gosh. And my mentor that time, my teacher, like who helped me to transfer me to Moscow, he used to say to me, "Oh, you get to used to that. It's not a big deal. Like by the time, like give yourself a little bit of time." And like naturally in my life, I'm so grateful for that. I meet like people who guide me a little bit, who like I was open enough to listen to, and giving them opportunity to guide me a little bit. And I'm feeling like I guide myself a lot myself at the same time when I don't know, I ask for support. And when I had this opportunity to Norway, I remembering I was like, I have such a great life here in Moscow already. I'm doing everything so well. And I'm like, I was planning to go back to rebuild my house, continue to work on the things that I'm working. I'm already traveling, around Russia. It's not such a big deal, We'll start to travel outside a little bit later. I already did my trip to Egypt, with my girls, and like we did like a hot trip, whatever. And I was just feeling like my life is really great. And my friend, she said to me, just go. It's okay to be like 1 year away. And if you don't like it, you can always come back. It's not a big deal. And
I love that flexibility.
yes. And I said like, yeah. And of course, my friends was one, because I was a leader of this class. I was a leader, doing a lot of like leadership roles and leadership
Mm-hmm.
things. Of course, it didn't allow me. They said to me, no, you get to stay. Why you going? I said, you know what? I decided for myself. I want to have this experience outside, and it will help me to go around the world. This is what I want. And when I was, I think 20 years old, like, yeah, just turned 20. And I was in the Times Square in New York because I want to go to Geneva, to Paris, I think to
Mm-hmm.
Rome, to Venice, and New York. And I was thinking it's going to take me all my life to go to the cities because it's so expensive. And here I am coming to Norway, went to all the cities in in 2 weeks, I think, or like 3 weeks in Europe. And after I went for the New Year's or like for the Christmas time to New York. And for and have a New Year in Times Square in front of this big in a restaurant and like rooftop restaurant in front of this like a big Times Square. There's 59, 58, and I'm just like, oh my
Right.
gosh, all my dreams. I'm here on the top of the I call it like it's on top of the mountains, and I'm a winner. I'm a winner, and I was like telling myself, oh my gosh, I'm a winner, and I'm standing there and say like my old dreams has just become true, and I'm happy new year. And I was like so happy in that moment. I feeling like I'm achieving all my dreams in such a short amount of the time. Just me making these decisions and being scary, of course. I tried to move to Moscow because I was hitchhiking, maybe 2 times before. And the third time I made that move because it scares me. The big city scares me so much. And I was very, very scared of like imagining myself in this big city. And now
But you,
I'm already living everywhere in Los Angeles and New York and all these big cities in the world. I've been everywhere, and it doesn't scare me anymore. I'm just like, okay, I navigate myself very fast. I know what to do. I'm feeling calm and kind of centered. It of course it takes a lot of time, a lot of work, a lot of courage and bravery to make this happen, and a lot of risk, taking these decisions that lead you where I am today. All the things that I created in my life because I wanted, because I have the passion to make these things happen. Nobody
and
would do
really,
it me except me.
and really, ladies, you have to really admire how she stood up for what she wanted, right? When she was getting pressure and people who cared about her wanted her to stay with them, she did what she wanted to do. And I think we oftentimes fail to do that. Well, I don't want to run out of time without talking about your art. Tell me about your art business.
Well, I started to do art many years ago, and I always doing it as a hobby. And I moved to America, to Miami, and I want to be the artist in Art Basel. And of course, COVID hit in 2020, and it's moved me to the 2021. And after that, when my art was already on the in Art Basel, at the end of the 2020, I created these ideas. I sent my art to the Elon Musk and sent my art to the Richard Branson and Jeff Bezos, asking Elon Musk to send my art to the space, asking Jeff Bezos to send me to the space and be first astronaut artist in the world. And I asked Richard Benson that I can paint his rocket that going to the space. And so I sent them my artwork to the offices. And 2 years
Like
later,
prints or originals or
originals. Yes, I send them originals artworks. I can send you like later my YouTube channel.
yes, definitely email it to me. I'm
Yeah,
so
show the artwork as well. And
hey,
and this opportunity came over that the sending the artwork to the space, and I apply for that. Of course, it's a process. I get to apply, I get to go through the interview, and so on and so on. And so I send my art. They selected two of my artworks, and they engrave in golden plates, and now it's flying in the space. So
I
like,
love that so much. I'm such a nerd at heart. I really am. And so when I read that, I was like, first of all, how freaking cool is that, right? My generation grew up with they made it was Carl Sagan, and it was like almost like a record or an album that was gold that had all the welcome messages from all the languages on earth and all the stuff. And when I read that your art went into space, I was like, that is so fantastic. So when you sent your art to them originally, did you hear back from any of them?
no, I didn't. But I wrote them letter as well. Not just I did this video, and I also wrote them letter, asking them to, like what I was telling them in the video. And so this opportunity with SpaceX come over, and I'm like, okay, Elon Musk kind of like my idea. He thinks my idea was
He must have. He stole that idea from you, didn't
yeah,
he? You ought
yeah.
to be able to get some credit for that. Elon stole your freaking idea. How many other
Maybe that's
artists?
my idea. For example, I was telling on my letter to the Amazon guy, to the Jeff Bezos, that it's good to that he can get the moon, like and create a gallery there and do the like art gallery there or something like that. And started to send like artists to the moon to do the art. That's what he's doing right now. Slowly, he's developing this idea. And I was telling to my friend, like, look, they actually read my letter that I sent to them, like a kid. The kids sending the letter to the Santa Claus.
Yes. Yes. He read it and was
And
like, that's a great idea.
I was
Let's.
the Santa Claus.
How many other artists have stuff like that too, up in space?
I don't know about other artists. It was not like announced.
It'd be
They
funny
usually
if it wasn't really a contest and they just made you think it was so that
maybe. I
just
don't I don't know
teasing.
about that. I can
It was your idea. I just think that is so fantastic.
Well, they did it like with because it was like at Pioneer 10. It was 15 years ago,
Uh-huh.
1972. Scientists sent the one artwork, what they know about humanity, and the engraved in golden plate. And because 15 years after that, they're supposed to send it in 2022, and it was like a lot of like deadlines and so on and so on. So they sent it in January 3rd, 2023. It happened.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a lot like kind of like not meeting deadlines or something like that. I don't know what happened. I was not following, and the fact is
Well,
that
with rockets, there's
yeah,
always
they
something
said
that
it
can
was a
happen and
rocket.
delay launch.
Yeah, they said it was a transformer Falcon 9. I have like I will send you the information there.
Oh, it was the Falcon
founder,
rocket. Yes. Okay, I know what you're talking about
the
now. Well,
founder of the project, he sent me a message and he said, "Oh, it's going to happen tomorrow. Watch the SpaceX the online, they're going to send the rocket with the artwork in it.
you got
So
one day notice?
yeah, one day know this now. Like sending me email, just telling me like, oh, it's going to happen November, oh, it's going to happen in December, oh, it's going to happen like end of the December, and eventually it's happening in January.
And then
And
it was like, okay, it's tomorrow.
yes, and I thought that's for sure. I was like, it's for sure. And they said like, yes, but this time for sure. Um, so for me, it's I don't know. I'm just feeling like what it is to live legendary, what it is to be legendary, what it is to leave your legacy. And I don't know. I just know that the people who created a legacy through their life, they just been normal people like us, and they've been just doing the thing that they were doing. They just did something different than others. And I believe like each of us has 24 hours as anyone else, and they just decided how they want to use this 24 hours. And, even so, sometimes you can be in front of the TV all day long just because you're not motivated. And I believe like it's okay to be these days because it's also kind of inspires you, coming with some ideas. You get to relax sometimes. And that's what I'm learning sometimes. Like you get to listen to your body when your body says you just chill out. And your mind all the time want to kind of running. You get to like learn how to balance things. I feel like we get to learn how to balance things in our life because I already know all my dreams become true somehow, somewhat. Like, and someday I just know it's going to be real. I don't know how. I don't know when. I just know it is. And
And
I
that,
just, I
ladies,
just live
is
my
the
life.
key to, yes, and that, ladies, is the key to manifestation. I mean, you just know it's going to be okay. I know that the money will be there. I do the work. I know that my goals are going to come true. I don't know when exactly or how exactly, but this is the path in front
And
of me.
enjoy.
But live joyfully, live joyfully. I love that. So tell us about your book.
So my book is came after that, that I understood all my dreams being real or like come true. So I want to share about joyful life, how it is to be joyful and why it's important to be joyful, and and embody the joy into your life. Because when you're joyful and consistent joy, it doesn't matter like you're sleeping all day long or you're working all day long, or you get to, you know, do absolutely everything in your life with joy in your heart. And even when you're tired, when you're exhausted, you're still joyful because you understand it's just a part of the life, that it's up and down. And right now you're exhausted or burn out, whatever. And it's going to pass as anything else in this lifetime. One day you're not here anymore. So it doesn't matter anymore. Until we're here, it matters. So continue to enjoy, continue to create, continue to be happy. So my book is about like just giving different kind of like suggestions how to live joyful, and at the same time sharing my artwork. That, also part of my book.
I listen to Sadhguru a lot, and he talks a lot about living your life joyfully. That, yeah, something terrible happened yesterday, and I am still joyful. But, and
Exactly.
it's not happiness, it's joy. There's a
Exactly.
difference, and joy comes from within. I can be joyful even amidst chaos around me. I'm not perfect at it, but I definitely love that. Can
And you're
you
joyful, actually. You're very joyful.
can you, I would love if you could give our listeners a few just tips on how to maintain that joy in your life.
I share for my own, like what I do. I do journaling all my life. I meditate for many, many years, and I do gratitude journaling. I practice gratitude many, many years of my life since probably, I don't know, since I'm 15. I'm grateful for life. I'm grateful for people. I'm grateful for what I have. I'm consistently practicing gratitude. And I decided many years ago, I live in heaven. I'm living in abundance and joy, and I'm already rich. It's my decision. It's my choice, and nobody else can change that because I decided I'm my own authority in this lifetime to make a decision the way I want to live my life. I'm my best friend because I know myself the longest than anyone else. And when somebody giving me feedback, I'm asking myself, does it serve me and not in my life? Does it work or not? I get to ask myself this question: do I want to take that feedback or not? Or just let it go? Because people like to give feedbacks. They like to give you advices or whatever and give you like comments on something, and they haven't done anything in their life. And I ask sometimes, did you write your own book? Never. So why are you giving me feedback? Sorry, I don't accept that. I'm like, did you do something? Did you make like your own artwork? Did you do any exhibition your own? why are you giving me suggestion how I get to do my artwork, how I get to do the work I'm doing? Like, why are you teaching me that you haven't done anything in your life and that don't have any experience and I didn't ask you advice and you're giving it to me? You get to ask for the permission first to give the advice. And
I
that's why I'm
wish.
like, sometimes I'm giving very, very like, I call it like, because I'm being I'm my own creator. So I decide the way I want to live my life and create my life. And it's up to me. Nobody else will do that for me. That's why I'm like, I get to be very clear with other people when they started to do something that I don't like. So I say to them, sorry, I don't know you. You don't know me. And I just don't like the way you communicate with me. Sorry, you're not my friend and you don't have opportunity to be my friend by communicating like that with me, because I already understand people when they coming to me and they say something. I know what mindset they have abundance mindset or they have scarcity mindset. So I don't want to have people around me who have a scarcity mindset, and I don't have patience to change their perspective, because when they started to push you towards that your life, their life is better than yours, I don't think like anyone is better or worse. I just think we're all equal, special when we meet each other and we decided to go together and do something together, and we get to support each other. And support, it's about how we can improve each other's life by giving the feedback. I want to improve someone's life. I want to make someone's life, nicer, more joyful, more positive, to see the beauty, to show them beauty. When they don't see the beauty, I cannot do anything. It's just not possible.
So it's really important to stay true to yourself, everyone. And I have thoroughly enjoyed it. Always goes so fast when you have a great guest. And we have come to the end. Please tell us, how can we find out more about you and buy your book and buy your services? What's the best way to do that?
People can go to my website, Aisha.today, is AISA.today, and I do mentorship. I give a mentorship one-on-one, and I also have my online program that called Joyful Living. And I also have my book that people can find on Amazon, Joyful Living Guidebook, or just Google it, Joyful Living Guidebook. And I also right now providing services for people who would like to move to Portugal, so I can be their conciergery, or like if you would like to me to help you with whatever necessary with open the company, getting you all necessary information. I'm here for you. You can always schedule calls. So with me, I give you the best information that I know myself. I really love Portugal, and I think that's the best country to live right now. Uh,
And
just
she has lots of
so many
experience.
places.
She's just an avid traveler. So, I mean, how helpful must that be? You will be able to find links to Aisha's website in our show notes and links to her book. We are so grateful to have you as a guest. You can also find links to my free ebook, 5 Steps to Having a Successful Mindset, and to our website. I would love to hear from all of you. You can reach out at Debra, Debra, at dealswithheels.com. And until next time, see you next week, everyone.
Joyful living. Namaste.